The following advertisement has been paid for by the big guy Ryback. Are you hungry? You know I'm so hungry, big guy. Hey, Mark, what brings you here? So I'm just here to hang out with my all-time favorite superstar of all time. What brings you here? Well, I'm doing a paid advertisement for Feed Me More Nutrition, available at feedmemore.com. Big guy, that is music to my ears. Did you tell the people about your Ice So Hungry grass-fed whey protein isolate, the best tasting protein on the market? Wake Up Unlimited Energy, the strongest pre-workout on the market, and the Big Guy all-natural testosterone booster, my personal fave. Big guy, you're on to something with this Feed Me More Nutrition. It is some top quality stuff. Well, thank you, Mark. It is. Feed Me More Nutrition. Premium, quality, the highest quality supplements on the market today. Available now at feedmemore.com.
Hey everybody, Pat Buck here. Before we start the show and you listen to this on your commute to work, you're probably wondering what you're going to have for dinner. And if you have that wondering, then why don't you check out BlueApron.com. Blue Apron, what is it? It's the #1 fresh ingredient home cooking delivery service in the country. It's affordable for less than $10 per meal. Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-portioned ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals. This upcoming menus, the meals meaning that come to you that you cook or that I make my wife cook because I am too lazy. Roasted pork with apple, walnut, and farro salad. Crispy barramundi with quinoa and roasted carrot salad. I'm salivating already. They're flexible. You customize your recipes the way you like them. You don't like seafood? Don't click on seafood. Get stuff that you like. Each meal comes with a step-by-step, easy-to-follow recipe card. 40 minutes or less. It's awesome. It's fresh. I love this service. Go there. Get your first 3 meals for free because you listen to the show and you love it so much. Free shipping. BlueApron.com/conversations. Again, BlueApron.com/conversations. Enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, and right now, I'd like to introduce...
Whoa. A guy who lost his smile. A guy who took his brain and walked away from millions of dollars. He hails from Sin City. Damn it! That's enough for you two! Shut up! You're fired! I think he said we're fired. Shut up! Pat, slap my ass! It's time for conversation with the big guy, pal!
Welcome to Conversation with the Big Guy. I am the big guy Ryback, and I'm sitting here with the one, Pat Buck.
Okay, another episode post-Royal Rumble. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. But before we begin, I think it's smarter to be professional broadcasters and to maybe mention some things that are going on. Do you want to start that off?
Absolutely. Wake Up, It's Feeding Time, the motivational book by the big guy Ryback, a professional athlete's advice on how to succeed in the game of life. Available now on Amazon in paperback and Kindle form, coming to Audible in February. Please review on Amazon. Feed Me More Nutrition, now available at feedmemore.com and in Las Vegas at Spartan Nutrition in North Las Vegas and Pumped Up Nutrition on Sahara and Rainbow. Friday, February 10th, Wrestle Pro at Starland Ballroom. The Machine Brian Cage versus the big guy Ryback. Bell time, 8 p.m. Saturday, February 11th, Wrestle Pro in Brooklyn, New York. Come see the big guy live and in person with a special meet and greet. Is that 6 to 8, Pat?
6 to 8 p.m.
6 to 8 p.m. And that's all for me this week.
Well, I don't need to plug those shows. Those are the shows you need to come see. February 10th and February 11th, WrestleProOnline.com. If you want to be a professional wrestler in the New York, New Jersey area, I see the listens from this show. There's thousands of you in this area. Please come if you're on the fence to check out wrestling, or we're going to talk about this on the show, actually. Come down to the Creative Pro Wrestling Dojo in Rahway and on Long Island. CreativeProWrestling.com. If you're 16 and up, want to check out a class, watch it, see what it's like, and then join my program. Finally, if you're a booker or promoter or whatever, and you want to book the big guy, hit up bookthebigguy@yahoo.com, and we can maybe arrange some things. But if you actually have a show in the New York area or anywhere on the East Coast, and you need guardrails, ring, entranceway, talent, you name it, hit up WrestleProOnline@yahoo.com. Or if you want to advertise with this show, which we're happy to have a new sponsor on board in coming weeks, you can hit up bookthebigguy@yahoo.com. All right.
I got to say, though, the one other thing here, and we're having technical difficulties. I couldn't hear a good portion of that, and then you came back just in time, but we'll address that in a minute. Mm-hmm. Also, guys, I got a P.O. box for all fan mail. I always get back to you guys, and I can't say thank you enough. All I ask is you send 1 to 2 items only, please. But that address is P.O. Box 752-740, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89136. And that's to send fan mail to the big guy Ryback. And I can't thank you guys enough for your support.
Okay. So, better week than last week. How was, I know you had a couple, I don't want to adventures last weekend, but catch us up. What's going on?
Well, unfortunately, excuse me, as we talked last week with She-Ra, we had to go put her down, have her put to sleep right before I flew out Friday morning, early afternoon. And it was, I sent a little Snapchat video out there, and you could see, like, she had tumors all over her body, like we talked about, and, and the cancer had taken over, and it had blocked her urinary tract, where she was having difficulty going to the bathroom finally. And they'd warned us, that from the point we started treating her with the chemo and trying to keep everything at bay, which it worked really, really well for a while. Okay. And then the cancer just kind of overcame it. And I should say thank you to Trupanion, and they provide pet insurance. They actually they covered 90% of all of her medical bills, which were thousands and thousands of dollars. Wow! And I don't
think a lot of people know what pet insurance is. I didn't know what it was till you told me about it.
Yeah, they now have insurance for your dogs and cats, and it is well worth looking into. I got it for mine before all this stuff came up, literally right before it all came up, because of Priscilla, the ex-girlfriend, had mentioned pet insurance, and I go, I've never looked into that. And it's for all 3 of my dogs at the time, for She-Ra, Secret, and Sophie, it was like $140 a month.
For all 3 combined?
For all 3 combined. So for certain dogs, like Secret's a mix. She's a pit bull, French bulldog mix. Okay. So like that, if a dog is not like a pure breed, if they're mixed, they're like, their immune system is better. Like they're less prone to have diseases and things like that. So the rates are even cheaper on like mixed dogs and things of that nature. But they really came through and helped out. But we had to take her in, and I'm pretty good with all that stuff about like having control over my emotions. And and don't get me wrong, I was extremely sad. It was a lot harder to watch my dad. He was it's always hard to watch your father cry, I think, and like break down, no matter what age you are. But I told you before, and like over other things, I feel like I'm like the father figure now, and my dad's like the child sometimes. Okay. I think that kind of, I don't know if that's like, as you get older, it starts shifting maybe, that like, and I don't know if that's the case with everybody, but I feel like that's been the case.
I think
for me.
I think the older you get, in a lot of ways, certain people actually will start regressing towards being I don't want to say immature, but they almost, like, I love my Nana, who's 97 years old, and I notice that sometimes it's sometimes I kind of like treat her like an infant a little bit, like a little like happy, like as if I'm treating a baby. You know what I mean? Like they become more. I think that happens. So I think the older someone gets, they kind of become a little more simpler and a little more, I don't know.
It's like the cycle of life coming full circle. I feel like the people who raised you, as you get older. Not saying that I raised my dad or anything like that now, but I just feel like the roles have kind of.
Sorry, I lost you there.
Oh, you're good. I feel like it's just a circle of life, and we've just kind of come full circle. And not that I take care of my dad or anything like that, but it's never an easy situation to see your parents or anything break down. And I got secret, I mean, Shira, I apologize, right before I left for Tough Enough, because Roxy, I knew that I was going to be signed. I didn't actually. I believed it so strongly that I dropped my college classes at UNLV and adopted Shira, who I remember, I'll never forget. I went to the Pound, the adoption, to go adopt a dog, and I'm walking around the Pound. I did school that day to go get her because I was so confident I was going to get picked for the WWE Tough Enough show. And I just saw this little puppy that was just so playful, and I fell in love with her right away. And they let me take her out, and she kept chewing on my shoelaces, and I was like, I want this dog. And I remember I brought her to my dad's that day. I go, Dad, I got you a gift because I'm going away for wrestling.
Oh, wow.
And oh, wait, I think you might be cutting out now. There you are. No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Sorry. And that people are going to get annoyed with this probably, but work through. Hopefully this goes away. But my dad wasn't happy about it at first, and he was very, why'd you get another dog? We already have Roxy. And he ended up, he fell in love with Shira right away, and he took care of her for the last 12 and a half years. She was almost 13 years old, and she lived a great life. But I got to hold her, and we brought Secret in, our other dog, to kind of watch, because I wanted Secret to know that Shira wasn't going to be around anymore.
Yeah.
So, but then while I was, I held it together really well, and it hit me right when I was holding her, this is my final time. She fell in my arm. I lost it before he even, when he explained everything to me. Mm-hmm. I just realized, she was just so calm and such a good dog. And, however bad my dad lost it, I lost it probably 20 times worse.
Man.
And, yeah.
Sorry.
But it felt good. It felt good.
Closure.
After, yeah, it was, I'm fine now. And it's, and I'm celebrating her life now, and we get her ashes tomorrow and all that. But it's tough to just go, even though it was the best situation possible that I was home and she went out pain-free. Anybody who's ever had an animal and loves them knows how painful that process is. But I do think, and I talk about this in the book a little bit, that my dad's talked about getting another dog now. Mm-hmm. And going to PetSmart and adopting another one. But he's not, he loves the French Bulldogs. Those are my favorite dogs now, the Frenchies. But
sure.
I go, why don't we go get another Frenchie? And he's like, no, because he loves Sophie and Sunny a lot, but they're a handful. Mm-hmm. They like to play, and I think he's more of a pit bull guy. So,
okay, that's cool. Well, that's unfortunate, but
no, but all good came from it, So it's she will be greatly missed, and poor little Secret's been sad. But we've had her over here at my house with Sophie and Sunny and playing and just trying to keep her spirits up. But speaking of that, she had to go get a huge growth taken off her paw today. She's had it for a little bit here, just showed up, and they wanted to make sure it wasn't cancerous, which she's only not even 6 years old. Where they're fairly confident that it's not, which they're having it tested. We'll know in a few days. But we had to go pick her up tonight, like I was telling you, and she was all drugged up.
Yeah.
She has the cone on her head, and she kept dragging her cone on the ground. Uh-huh. She can't raise her head up. She's so drugged up still. I had to carry her to my dad's car, and my dad just texted me saying, poor Sophie is just, she can't function. So
I can't remember exactly the location, but we were talking about this earlier today. How was the bookings? Hopefully I did my job correctly, getting you booked in these making these towns.
Yeah, no, it was a great weekend. Yeah, so I took a month off, as you know, for the supplements in the book to kind of make sure those all went smoothly. And this weekend was in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, PPW Shell Shocked, and then I went over to Santino's school for Destiny Pro Wrestling, which was where Destiny holds their shows at his building, and wrestled Moose. And the first night was against Mike Orlando, and Big Mike Orlando, I should say, and two great nights. And I had a lot of fun, and I felt like it's weird now. I told you the biggest difference is you up there in WWE, you're wrestling 4 to 5 nights a week, and you just kind of go into a zone. I'm in a place now, after that first match, my body hurt so bad just because I hadn't bumped in a month.
Sure.
And it's like starting all over again as far as bump. But bumping, but my conditioning and everything. The burpees, I'm such an advocate of burpees. I can't put the burpees over enough. Like, as long as I do my burpees, I'm a totally fine in the ring. And we will talk about some of the problems we encountered travel-wise this week. Hazleton, Pennsylvania, legit dry. The weather was perfectly clear all day. When I had to make about the 45-minute drive from my hotel by the airport, just a thick fog took over where you couldn't even see legitimately 10 feet in front of you. Just like so I started looking for food, and like I was looking for a Subway at first, and the GPS took me to where the Subway was. I couldn't see the
Jesus.
Subway. Like like it was, and I didn't know where I was at, and like I was afraid I was gonna hit somebody. So I was like, screw it. I'll find a McDonald's and get a couple chicken salads and a double quarter pounder with no bun. And like even the McDonald's I couldn't see. And then I finally I kept going really, really slow, and then it like came into view, and then I went and got my stuff, and then I found the building, and it wasn't quite as bad near the building as it was with the area I was looking for food, but a great weekend, and I really, really had a good time. And a funny thing happened the first night with Mike Orlando, which we'll talk about here. But yeah, you did your job more than fine.
Well, until I don't know if I should talk about the travel thing. I had a small panic attack. I'll explain it. So basically, this was a hard booking, and like I realized too why, people wonder why there's not that many decent, good independent promotions, because it does require a lot of not just time to plan your events, but you have to deal with like unpredictable circumstances. And so the first part that was difficult was figuring out, it's not uncommon for any sort of name or any wrestler that has a schedule to be in different towns. But the thing is that if you're on a weekend, where you're on a Friday night and a Saturday night, or in your case last weekend, Saturday night and a Sunday night, you fly out from your home, you go to the first town, and then you got to go to the second town and come back. Well, how are promoters, a lot of people don't really think about this, or fans think about this, how are promoters supposed to book that flight? Because
and I think too, it's good to come flying out of Las Vegas. Most shows are predominantly on the East Coast, so that we got to book my travel usually the day before. Whereas WWE, you would fly out the morning of.
Yeah.
but WWE has the luxury of, like, there's been times when WWE that certain guys miss a show because of travel, but you have a roster full of guys on the show, or enough guys to typically put on a show still. This is a little different circumstances on these independent shows, because I'm the one name guy they're bringing in for the particular show, and flying out the day of from the West Coast is a little bit iffy, because if there's any sorts of problems, especially with the time difference being 3 hours behind here, that it makes it like there's a good chance if I get delayed or caught up, I miss a show. So we got to fly me out the day before always on these. I think it's worth mentioning just to play it safe, to make sure I make these shows. So this is further adding that we're doing back-to-back shows, and you got to book this travel as early in the morning as possible to get me in at a decent time to ensure if there are delays that I am going to, be able to make it.
Well, let me ask you real quick with WWE, since you're a West Coast guy, and I think it is. I tell you all the time, like, it's difficult. You're on these, most of the shows for independents. I don't know why this is, and I think it's terrible that there's not more stuff, from the Midwest out to the West Coast. Like, there really is just, it's crazy. It's just predominantly Northeast, or, an occasional Southern thing, or whatever it may be. You'll have a couple things out there, but like, it's just the way it works. But for Raw and stuff, would you be flown in the night before, or is that a day of thing?
No. So you got to remember, was always booked on every live event, and I always flew out the day of for live events. So a typical travel schedule for me, if it was a 5-day loop, it would be fly out Friday morning at 5 or 6 a.m. every morning. So I was up at either 3 or 2 a.m. every night, Friday early morning, late Thursday night, I guess you could say. I would usually sleep 2 to 3 hours, get a little sleep just so, because always being on the East Coast, usually I couldn't go to sleep earlier because I'm so used to going to bed at a certain time. So I would always try to get to bed by 12 o'clock and get 2 or 3 hours sleep. get ready, go to the airport, which was a half-hour drive. I live all the way away from that airport. And then get to the plane and sleep the whole plane ride wherever I was going. Get in. If there was time to go to a gym, go eat and work out. If not, just get food and go straight to the building. And then live event, drive, and then TV, and then go home get home Wednesday afternoon and have partial Wednesday, and then Thursday fly out that night, Thursday night. So it was a very stressful, constricted schedule, but you just turn into a machine when you're on the road up there, and it's like you just learn, you adapt or you don't make it. And I actually enjoyed, pushing myself, but it's stressful. Like Wednesday would be like my night to have a milkshake or something and go get a little Taco Bell and just chill out and know that I could wake up Thursday and not that was the one day I didn't have to set an alarm, was waking up from Wednesday night to Thursday. And it was just so beautiful not having to set an alarm and be stressed out about waking up. And it's great. It was great. And, but it was a different schedule altogether.
So even now, this was the complication this week for people, that a lot of independent people listening. So basically you have a show on Saturday night, fly you in the night before, but even getting the booking done. So you're wrestling for one promotion in Pennsylvania and then the next day in Toronto. So it's a real pain in the ass because and I've dealt with a couple agents, and what they do normally is they most of the time the promotions book the travel for the wrestler. And even if they have an agent or whoever doing their representation, they'll tell them, well, send us the flight, we'll approve it. For this situation, I didn't have any faith in the promotions. God bless them. They all did a fine job. But I was like, look, I'm going to book this travel myself because it's pretty complicated and you guys are going to split it down the middle because there's 3 flights involved. So you have to go to the town on a Saturday, wrestle the show. The next day, fly really early to Canada, do the show that day. The next day, fly home. That worked out okay. I thought, okay, I did this. The flight was done. The promoters PayPal me the money. We're good to go. So you do the show, and then all of a sudden you're done with the show, and I get a notification on I'm literally about to go to bed, and I get the thing.
I just got to my hotel room when you messaged me this, by the way. I thought I had to be up in 2.5 hours.
And I get the notification, flight's canceled. So, and the next flight that you're going to be booked on is 5:30 that day, which doesn't work out because you completely missed the show. And on top of that, for people that don't really fly a lot, the way it works with if you have multiple destinations, or even, this occasionally happens where, people miss their flights going outward and you have one coming back. I don't know why this is, but the airlines will cancel your return flight. So I knew that ahead of time, that because that second flight was canceled, which there's no way you could have been on that. But I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, oh, there's no way you can make the show. But then I realized you're 6 hours away, and you're like, oh, fuck it.
We didn't know that. Yeah, the fog was so heavy, though. The flights were delayed all day long that I would have missed the show totally.
But, kudos to you. You're like, I'll fucking drive it. I'm like, oh, great. Then you can make the show. But now the problem was, that you missing the second flight, even though it was rebooked, it would have canceled your flight home. So it's literally one or two in the morning. And I'm on the phone with fucking Orbitz for, dare I say, probably about an hour and change. But luckily it fixed itself and took care of all the travel things. You got up there, you worked Moose, and everything was okay. But
it's stressful though. As far as I always, I never want to miss a booking, and especially it wasn't Santino's show, but the promoter had paid up front, and And obviously, if we would have missed the show, we would have sent back all the money and whatnot. But it was, I don't I don't want to ever miss a wrestling show, especially when you advertise and people. It's just a horrible feeling. And when we found out, I was like, it's only 6 hours. I was like, I've told you, I've driven 10 hours before to make it to a show.
You seem to like. I think you like it actually more. You're like, I like it. You enjoy the.
Oh yeah. I don't like flying is stressful. Going to the airport and I feel like I have control when I'm driving to a certain degree. Whereas when you're in the air, it's just in the whole process of your bags and checking in. And I flew for so much and and odds are you're going to be fine flying, but it's still, even if you're not stressed, you're subconsciously stressed just because you know deep down, like the odds of surviving a plane crash are a lot less. I feel like they're a lot less. They are than surviving a car crash, especially if you feel that you drive responsibly and whatnot. So like it's a crazy thing to say, but it's when you fly all the time. We're not just flying occasionally, especially up there, WWE. You're flying sometimes 3 or 4 days a week on some occasions. So airports are a stressful situation. And I wrote about airplanes in my book, and like people are like miserable on airplanes, and like everyone's in a rush, and like I've made it a habit, like when the plane lands and everybody's getting their bags, I don't pay attention to everybody leaving unless I'm like in the very, very front where I know I got to kind of have my stuff ready fairly quickly. But if I'm middle of the plane back, I just take my time, look at my phone, read a book, listen to an audiobook, and don't look at the line, because what you do if you like look at the people ahead of you, like you tend to start getting mad because you like expect everybody just to be ready to get off the plane like instantly.
Sure.
But it takes boarding a plane and getting off a plane takes a minute if you have any sort of luggage at all. And people are like, some people obviously take way too long, but like it takes time. Like everybody has bags, but I feel like everyone's just in such a hurry. So I just would rather avoid it and listen to an audiobook driving, and sip on a coffee and a sparkling water and enjoy the day. Do some Snapchats and stay in touch with some fans and not have to worry about, a plane crashing.
Well, how was your plane ride? It's a day after the Rumble, and from if the rumors were true, you got into that Rumble at number 26.
I was number 26, as everybody listening to this will now know, and I confirmed it here Thursday night with a picture of me with the ping pong ball on the Royal Rumble poster. So.
Actually, I saw it today. I mean, granted, this airs after the Rumble, obviously, but I did see the betting odds, and I found it kind of funny that there was a couple people that had higher betting odds that there's no way they're going to be in the Rumble whatsoever than people that are currently in the company, which goes to show you, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like Titus O'Neil had the absolute worst betting odds out of, I think, like 50 people they listed that could, potentially win the Rumble.
Really?
Yeah.
That's never good.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's an interesting situation. I mean, obviously we know who the winner is now by this point, but I don't know. Might as well talk about the Rumble, it's my favorite pay-per-view. It's something that you kind of hope would set the stage for everything that comes up WrestleMania, like that this should be the starting point to the most anticipated event of the year. And you've been in, how many Rumbles have you been in?
2013, 14, 15, 16, right? 4 of them. So,
and overall, what's the like? Is there a anticipation?
They fucking suck. Oh, they suck so bad. Like it's that. So you and all the guys if listening to this can contest to this. Like, so it's the biggest. Like, it's such a cool, unique pay-per-view, and like for fans, like this is for like I feel like if you were a fan of the Attitude Era and all that, and like where every week there were shocks and surprises every week, and like or every at a certain point where who's going to show up where that's kind of like gone now in wrestling. That's
a big part of it. I really think part of the reason why wrestling's not in. I think that a huge percentage of why wrestling was so hot in the Attitude Era was because of that. You never know who's going to switch teams and who's going to show up on this show. And that's just completely gone outside of a few potential debuts here and there.
Absolutely. And that's always been such an appeal to people. But like the part of the Royal Rumble match, especially with the talented roster that we had when I was there and they have right now, for the most part, rather than just plugging other people into positions when people leave. But like the guys can do so much, but those goddamn Royal Rumble matches are thrown together last
minute.
Like I can't tell you, like, so like rather than like give the guys the orders and everything the week before and let you go home and think, like, because most of the guys are workhorses and like want to put on the best product possible. But crazy fucking cranky Vince and everybody underneath him can't seem to make up their goddamn minds on what they want. Like, God damn it, I want him to win. Pat, slap my ass. I want him to win. Like, he can't fucking get his head out of his ass and like realize who he wants to win or who he just like give a fucking ballpark figure to the guys so they can like try to make it different from the year before to make it stand out. And like, what ends up happening is it's so last minute when you get your number and when you're in and like, because you got to remember, like, you're trying to put together things into like, you got to go with other guys. Like, what are you doing with this guy? Mm-hmm. Like me and you got to do something right. Like, it takes time to work this stuff out. And what they do is like, they don't usually give it to you and with time to even do anything. So it's so last minute and guys got to get ready. Guys are getting new gear made. There's just so many things going on that like, you just figure out a way to get eliminated and free ball it in the ring, which is cool for a live event. But like in this day and age in pay-per-views when people, I feel like that's the one thing in wrestling and like old school's wrestlers talk about. And I'm reading, Bob Backlund's book here. I'm at the very end of it now, finally. And he talks about back then, and like they had to go in there and just like when kayfabe was in effect, and like you'd go in there and just figure it out. You knew the finish, but it was a different time and a different era. Now people are expecting a different product, and it's okay to call some stuff out, and you have your moments in there when you do free ball it and you kind of wing it, and the majority of guys know how to communicate, and I shouldn't say the majority, but a good portion know how to do that still. It's just that it's kind of changed a little bit, and the Royal Rumble, when you're dealing with that many guys, you need to have everybody on the same page, and the more stuff you can kind of, I don't want to say plan out, but have organized and structured, the better the actual match will be. So like you have the element of surprise still, which is what a big factor for it. I think they rely on that heavily for the most part. But I think if they would actually give the guys at least a week in advance to kind of map some stuff out, it would make for the match being a fucking million times better. With the talent they have, and the guys always make it work.
Do you think that, or have there been times for the Rumbles you've been in that you think that day, or you may even know that they don't have a winner for it? Have they, like, does that change, or did
I don't know. I can't. I mean, I'm sure it has, but I can't say that with confidence, knowing just I've never been in there for that. So, I remember 2013, the one with me and Cena. I remember that was just really frustrating. I was already fucking pissed with so many things.
Why?
And that just with the way with the pay-per-view losses and the consecutive losses when everything was red hot, and knowing with like the ankle situation that what was going on, and then with John and everything, and I was just like, they had me and John the final two, and then he put together a really shitty finish. It was just so basic, and I was just, people think like, oh, he wasn't that developed back then. Like, I was fucking fully developed and like could have done anything, and like John just wanted a basic finish to the match. That falls on him, like his lazy ass, like right then for that night. Like, oh, you just want to do that to finish the match? Cool. Like, and that was his call. So and it just didn't sit well, because I would have rather have done a lot more and made it a lot cooler. And, if that was the finish we were going to go with to begin with. So, but I mean, those days are hell. I'm glad I'm not there for it.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'm trying to think what else is,
outside of showing up at number 26.
Yeah. So I had a nice little weekend last weekend. I sold out my show. All 105 people, the jam-packed and filled into the Creative Pro Wrestling School in New York for our, I talked about last episode, there's been problems with the New York State Athletic Commission has changed the laws where we have to get we normally have to have a doctor. Now we need an EMT. We had an ambulance there. We had the fire inspector come through. It's all this horse shit for such a small building where we could only fit 105 people in. We actually had to turn away people at the door, which was a nice problem to have. But luckily that went off without a hitch. And
how was the show? All right?
Show was great. And I was looking back. I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. We got a little, because I run bigger shows in Jersey because I have bigger venues, and I've had crowds. My biggest crowd I think was like 1,600, but these are nice when we don't really have any. I don't think we had any names on this show. I think I think I was the biggest name, which is pretty scary, but pretty Oh no, I think Rene Dupree was on this show actually. For some reason he was in town.
Wait, Rene Dupree was on my show.
That's
with
right,
Bruce.
he was. He's a madman. He's the best, but.
I haven't seen him in years, and so Rene Dupree used to live like the guy was so young when he came into WWE, and he's always been so nice.
He was
to me.
hired when he was 18 years old, and that's what made me want to move to because me and Rene are the same age, and I saw him on that show. What was it called? It was like a backstage thing that Kevin Kelly used to host, and I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, I thought I was ahead of the game because I was training and wrestling already, but I'm like, this guy, looks incredible. He's in the developmental system. He was the youngest guy I think hired in OVW at the time, or it might have been ever, but I know there was like guys back before that in developmental in the Memphis short OVW. The precursor to OVW. There might have been younger guys signed then, but like I was like, holy shit, this guy is 18. He started when he was 14. His dad was a multi-million-dollar promoter, Emile Dupree, up in Canada, and he had his whole thing, and I think he's an interesting dude. I love Rene. I know a lot of guys have a lot of issues with him, but he's always been good to me.
Yeah, he's always been great to me. And I walked into the locker room, and he was in there talking to Santino, and I popped and gave each other a hug and said hello, and a little brief discussion, and he was the opening match, and then he had to catch a flight and literally run out of there. He came back after his match and threw his clothes on and like ran out to make his flight, and that was the last I saw of him. But it was the last time I saw him was at OVW where his balls came out of his tights, if you remember.
Oh, I remember.
It was like a stalling. Yeah, it was like a suplex spot, which is like if you wear trunks and. Like you better have a good pair of under tights on because the stalling suplex spot with trunks can be highly dangerous to the fans' eyes.
I think you're remembering the story a little bit differently than me. That may have happened after that. Do you remember what happened before that?
No. I just remember maybe that triggered it, but I think they stayed out, right?
It happened upon, Renee's open about his, past. He's sober now and he's cool and he's together. He looks like $1 million still. And
he looked great.
There was time period where he's openly admitted to me, he's like, I was addicted to everything at one point. There's not something, and he's honest about it, and he went through the program. But there was one time where for OVW, I remember distinctly, he had a match on TV, and this is like, I forget what year. We're both down there, but I remember it was upon entrance. I think some people don't wear underwear with their trunk.
I remember. I thought it was on the stalling suplex spot, which I know that was in the match at one point. So maybe that's just where I caught up on it.
I'm pretty sure he came out and like it was right upon entrance, like camera shot, like it was just his nuts were out and he was a little, intoxicated. And I remember. Do you remember watching it in class and we all start laughing? One thing I thought was weird was that I don't know why they didn't edit it out of TV when they could have. Like Danny Davis had that possibility, like that power, and they left it in.
Just have the blur right in front of the crotch of the entire match.
And I remember we're watching because I should explain this. So in developmental, we would train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Wednesday was our TV day. And then Thursday we might train, but most of the time we watched the TV program from the day before, and Al would go
get Moe's afterwards. I would always go get Moe's with like Domino and Cody after we'd watch tape and get the day off because like it was like a lazy day. Watch tape, everybody left the building, go eat fucking Moe's, and then like go home, rest. And then go like do a huge workout every night and like go out maybe after was like always the routine.
Yeah, and then Friday and Saturday, sometimes Sunday were the live events. It's a great program. It was, but I remember one time this was when we're watching the matches back, and Renee's nuts are hanging out, and we all start laughing, and Al screamed at us like, "How dare you guys laugh at this? Like someone could have gotten hurt." Like, this is embarrassing. And I think he was more, and we all just like froze like, oh shit.
Wait, did he say
Yeah,
that?
he got mad at us for laughing at it, like all of us, because we were all chuckling. And he's like, you guys think this is funny. This is disrespectful to the business. But I'm like, how can anyone? I'm like, I saw this guy walking around the locker room like pretty zoned out, and you could have stopped him. Like, what the fuck? His nuts are hanging out. This is hysterical. But
it's not hysterical. You can't watch a match with a guy's nuts out seriously in any sport or endeavor and take it fucking seriously. The human body is so fucking, like, you just can't watch another human being with, like, just imagine wrestlers wrestling naked, like their dicks flopping around and their balls flopping around. Like, you wouldn't take it, like, it just would change the game completely. Like, every move would be different. Like, oh my God, you look at a sunset flip completely differently than like, oh, that's a really, gay move. Or like, there's no, like, wrestling attire saves wrestling from, in some ways, from being as weird as it really is.
yeah, I guess that's the one, as long as you have a pair of trunks on, it's fine. But do you know what BG East is? Have you ever heard of that?
If I did my Thez press naked to a guy, that's like the
Well, I
think
was going to
about
ask
it.
you,
It's just ridiculous.
have you ever heard of BG East? You know what that is? Okay,
No.
BG East is a wrestling company, and I think if you looked it up, you'd probably laugh at it. We found out what this was because our old friend on episodes back, the Wizard, had quite the collection of videotapes in his apartment. And what they were they were male custom wrestlings. Now, I know there's Gorilla Man videos of you beating the shit out of a woman, but these were more...
Wait, time out. Hold on. I think it's fair to, like, those were legit matches.
Okay.
Like, I just beat the shit out of them because obviously, the Gorilla Man at the time, the Gorilla Man sold for no woman, and he was just a dominant performer. It's totally different than doing these custom videos, but go ahead.
Were you in an actual ring? That was in a ring.
Yeah, I was in a ring.
So
yeah,
BG
I
East,
would not have done it otherwise.
for the most part, they actually have a ring in their house, but I think a lot of the matches may end up outside the ring. Now they're not, but it's pretty.
Wait, what do you mean outside?
Okay,
the
for
ring?
example, one of the videos we found and we put them on. A couple of them were just
Is this like gay? Wait, is this like gay for pay, like in bodybuilding? and all that shit?
but it's the wrestling form.
Oh,
So the videos we found in Bob's house, in the Wizard's house, some of them were in the ring, and they were just literally. We were wondering. Sometimes we're wondering, like they weren't trunks they were wearing. They were way shorter. They were like super short trunks. Some had boots, some didn't. And I noticed a couple of them, like there was extended periods of full Nelsons. I'm like, wait a minute, did you like order this video and you can tell them what to do? And he wouldn't admit to it, but we knew that was the thing. However, there was
Chad Wixon in any of these?
no, he wasn't. But there's quite a list of people from current WWE people, past WWE people, independent people that are because they pay very, very, very well. And I haven't done it.
Do you remember? Wait, by the way, I always say, remember when we were living together and like money was tight and I was serving at Smoky Bones
Yeah.
with you, and like I was getting money offers from that one guy who was like a city official throwing me, wanting to like send a ridiculous amount of money to come wrestle him in a hotel room, and like never at my lowest point of drinking and chewing tobacco and being miserable and being poor did I ever think of this. You know what? I want to go fucking wrestle this dude in a hotel room
I don't-
for fucking thousands of dollars.
There were a couple times where you're like,
Never-
should I do this? And you're like, I can't do this. But he's offering.
Okay, so maybe but you're my best fucking friend, and we're gonna discuss it. But I'm saying, never did I fucking actually think about like hopping in the car and driving down there. But like I told you my concerns with it. This guy was like, it's nothing sexual, it's straight wrestling. But I was always very open with you about it, and like, and I never fucking did it. So I think that's very important to get out.
So back
there.
to BG East, the videos we found, like some of them were just matches where you'd see like, a lot of head scissors and a lot of like whatever. But then there was one video we found where it was just two dudes double teaming, wrestling. Like one guy's holding his arms and the other one's just punching him in the stomach over and over again, like slapping his stomach and punch for 40 minutes straight. I'm not exaggerating. Literally 40 minutes of tummy punching. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it was all of Bob's collection. So if you guys want to look up and order a video from BG East, go check them out. So
Life is so fucked up on so many levels sometimes.
I don't know how we got
reminds
here.
me of the
Fuck, I forget.
That way, speaking of, hold on, I got somewhere else to go
Okay.
with this. That reminds me of the time I got the Instagram thing after I left WWE, where the guy offered me $75,000 for a blowjob in Vegas. He's like, "You ever get blowjobs for $75,000?" And I was just fucking block, fucking delete, block. Like it was, people like. I guess it doesn't hurt to ask, though, on his part. But
Oh, sure.
how about this weekend? I think this is pretty funny. So we talked about like I took a month off and I had which we got to talk about the match with Mike Orlando here. It was hilarious. Great guy, great worker. And, but I got to talk about that whole ordeal, what happened on that show. but wrestling, before the match with Moose, I went to the same gym, the Odyssey Fitness in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, that we normally go to when we're in town when I was with WWE. And it's comforting kind of going to the same places and, that when I was on the road. And I feel like it's the same thing with eating. I eat at Applebee's all the time because they all look the same. And it's where I always ate on the road. And it's very comforting to me while I'm on the road to kind of keep a normal schedule and eat at the same places that I always have. And so this gym is a really, really good gym, and they have like a whole turf section, but they have a gymnastics section, which is like part of the gym. Sorry, excuse me, part of the gym, but also it's like for like birthday parties, and it's for gymnastics.
Okay.
And it's like sectioned off. So I ordered it. It's supposed to be here today. It got delayed. I'm looking in there as I'm doing my burpees, mountain climbers, and box jumps to get ready to like wrestle Big Moose that night because I thought we were going to have be able to do like 30 minutes, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. So like I'm getting myself geared up because I've been off for a month, and I did a match the night before. I felt great, but I wanted to kind of blow myself up early in the day and be ready to go later at night because Moose is a phenomenal athlete, and he's 32 years old, and he has a bright future in front of him. And it was cool to be able to wrestle him. But I see this device in there, this it's called a barrel back handspring trainer.
Okay.
Which is, they have like small, medium, and large. And I guess this was like the large one I was looking at. And it teaches you how to do back handsprings and backflips.
Huh.
Really, and I've told you I've gone to the gyms here, the parkour gym down the road from me, and I've learned how to do backflips, but I kind of go to the side just a little bit, and I need to perfect my form of just going back straight and feel it. Because once you feel it, the body kind of picks it up right away. Mm-hmm. And I've always been athletic, but my ankle injury obviously slowed everything down and hurt me a little bit. But I could still do a lot of things, and it's just something that bothers me because I know I could do it. I just need to take the time to learn how to do it. And so I saw this thing, and these girls, there was a girl's birthday party going on in there. And the girls are like, 9, 10, 11 years old probably.
Sure.
And they're like, it's like 30 girls in there, and it's a birthday, and they're all having fun. And so I see this barrel trainer, and I go, whoa, that's what I need. That parkour gym down the road doesn't have it. So like in my mind, at the very least, I'm going to bring it here and learn how to use it, and maybe I'll donate it to them afterwards if I don't have any use for it once I learn how to do backflips properly all the way. And so I pull my phone out to get a picture of it because I was like, I need to remember what this looks like, even though I know what it looks like, but I wanted to get a picture of it. And I pull my phone out, and I'm all sweaty, and I just got done doing 30 burpees in a row, and I'm breathing heavily, and I got my phone, and I'm snapping pictures of the barrel trainer, and then it hits me because just a couple weeks prior, I just had rediscovered the new Chris Hansen show. The To Catch a Predator has been redone again, and I remember always watching that back in the day, and it hit me right away that I'm a fucking 35-year-old grown man, and I'm taking pictures of the barrel trainer, but there's little girls all around in my picture, and I go, oh no, and I instantly freak out because like all the parents are like on the far left, all sitting together, and there's like no way they can't not see me with my phone. So I instantly like grab my stuff and I walk over to the parents and like the instructor, and they were like, no one even thought anything of it, like, and there was nothing, but like I went over and I go, what's the name of this thing? I've been trying to learn how to do backflips for a while.
Sure,
and the
you
lady
are.
gave me all the information. Yeah, and then she goes, I hear, hey bud, what are you up to? And it was Chris Hansen. But the lady actually like tweeted me later. She goes, "Yeah, it was so nice to meet you earlier, Ryback," and like they knew who I was. So, but I tried to tell them like, "Oh no, I wrestle. Like I want to learn how to do backflips," because I felt like I needed to say something. But it was hilarious, kind of that like you forget sometimes in the moment. Like I was like, "Oh, I need this," and then she gave me the name, and I Amazoned it, and I bought it, and it's going to be here tomorrow.
That's pretty cool. Oh well. So you took a couple
I'm
pictures of
looking forward with the
underage
match.
kids.
Jesus, when you say it like that, they no longer exist. So
Sweet. So I think I need one of those for my school. That's where I was going with this. I completely forgot. So Renee was at my school. I was at my school. We had a show. We had a packed house. The commission didn't show up, which is a good problem to have. So we're at capacity. So at one point, and I wrestled a short little match in the show, but I like to kind of help out and see if there's any problems. So at one point, I'm done with my match, and I'm sitting in the office, which is where the fans come in and out of. And we're already at capacity. The show already started. It started at 8:00. We opened doors at 7:30. It's like 8:15 now, or maybe even 8. No, it's after my match. So it's probably like 8:30, 8:20. And a larger lady comes into the building, and we had a sign on the door that said "sold out." Sorry, we're at full capacity. She ignored the sign. And she comes walking in, and we don't know what to say, but we're like, all right, we'll let her in, no big deal. But we told her we don't have any more seats left, and she's like, oh, okay. She buys a ticket, she goes in, and I can't really tell her age. She could be between the ages of, she could be 18 or she could have been 42. I really couldn't tell. Yeah. And her hair was very, very, very wet, and I thought maybe that was from, she just had wet hair, but I think it was like pure like grease. Like something was going on there. So anyway, like she walks into the room and she's watching the matches, but she can't find a seat. And we told her, look, we don't have any seats. And she comes walking back in the office, and you can tell she's like a little angry, but she's like, there's no seats. We're like, yeah, we told you that. She goes, well, I need a seat. I need to rest my knees. I'm like, oh boy. So
probably an old gymnastics injury. I would imagine.
So I could see her, and look, nothing against, was she, heavy set? Yes. But I could tell she had this energy and this funk about her that this was going to be a problem. And she was like,
yeah, a lot of fat people, like, I think it's safe to say a lot of fat people like feel entitled.
And,
and that people can get mad at that or not, but it's the fucking truth.
It was like a weird kind of like, you need to fix this problem. And she was wearing a Page t-shirt, a welcome to my house t-shirt. And she was kind of complaining to me. She's like, oh, I thought this started at exactly at 8:00, or I thought the meet and greet started at 8:00. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, we open doors at 7:30. So I'm doing my job trying to find her a chair. There's no chairs. So I go to somebody to go walk around the entire building, go into our locker room, and get us a chair. And one of my guys, Kip, he goes, does it, brings back the chair. And we bring her back. The only chairs we have left are actually the WWE pay-per-view chairs, the metal chairs. And
those things are good chairs.
Great.
I have several of them with me on them, yes.
So she sits on that, and she's resting her knees. And then literally like 5 minutes later, I look and she's gone, and she's inside. So I'm like, okay, maybe she found a seat inside. The show's going on. I'm happy. It's me and Kurt Hawkins. It's our school. We're happy because to be honest with you, running a wrestling school, and we're going to talk about the training stuff probably next. Let's pause right here. We'll be right back for a little, sponsorship ads. Okay, while the big guy takes a pee break, we're going to talk about Blue Apron. What is Blue Apron? It's the #1 fresh ingredient home cooking delivery system. It's accessible to everyone. I'm reading off the paper right now. There's a lot of different notes. Look, You're hungry. You want food coming to your house every single week that you don't have to go to the grocery store for. That's creative. That's different. That feeds the whole family. I eat a rather large portion. My wife actually eats the same amount of food as me, which is scary because she's half my size. But it's great stuff. This week's upcoming menus: udon noodle soup with miso and soft-boiled eggs, cashew chicken stir-fry with tango mandarins and jasmine rice. Sounds delicious. Try it out. You know why? Because it's easy. Each meal comes step by step. Easy to follow recipe card with pre-portioned ingredients, can be prepared in 40 minutes or less. Because you listen to this show, go to blueapron.com/conversations with an S. Again, blueapron.com/conversations. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. You know, so I had my show, and we had a fan that came in, and, you know, I was explaining that, and everything's going good. Matches are going good, and it's really, I feel like a proud father figure, because, yeah, I've trained a lot of guys, and it's kind of rewarding to see, you know, the fruits of training these guys and kind of, you know, literally grooming them from scratch, and they're able to keep the attention of all these people. And my shows are a mix in Long Island. They're half smart fans, half family and friends, you know, occasional casual fans, but it's completely mixed. Awesome time. So one of the matches going on with a popular tag team called Massage Envy. You'd appreciate them.
I love them already.
Their whole gimmick is that they're creepy massage men. Like it's very over the top, but it's fucking awesome. They're getting really popular in the independent scene. They're awesome dudes.
I feel like there's no other way for them to be other than creepy, so that's good that they realize that.
Yeah, like one of their big moves is
they're very hands-on with their gimmick.
Yeah, so they put a guy in the corner and they get him down so where he's like laying there like to take a Bronco Buster kind of move, and the other guy kind of goes down like Jeff Hardy would. The Hardys used to do that thing where you run off the back and do like that leaping like leg lariat to the corner and you crush the other guy. So they do something like that. Instead, one guy drops down to all fours, and the other guy takes a can of baby oil out, rubs it all over his chest, and slides off the other guy's back and does a headbutt right to the dick. It's a perfect move.
That's incredible, actually.
It's amazing. The baby oil makes them really. It goes super fat. Like they fly at the other guy. So if you guys want to see Massage Envy, check out their I don't know if they call that the happy ending. That's one of their big moves.
It only if that's not called the happy ending, I'm going to be fucking really mad. That is, I'm going to look them up tonight on YouTube and watch a match of Massage Envy. Holy shit!
Great. They're greater guys. They're one of them's our assistant trainer VSK, and the other guy's named Dorian. Dorian. One of the guys wears a mask too. He's a creepy oil. What is it? The creepy oil master. It just works. I don't know why it works, but it's awesome.
You get to like do what like wrestling should do, like on WWE, but like it's at a time where they can't and don't. Like you get to have fun and do all these cool characters that like I feel like that on WWE can't do. So more power
we
to them.
we can push the limits. Even though New York, dude, I didn't explain it enough last week with the New York Commission, but there's laws that you like. They get met. They've told me before that I've said too many like they don't want you inciting the crowd. It's actually it's quote technically illegal to be a heel in New York. They don't want you yelling at the crowd. It's so. I swear to God.
Most of New York, most of the fans in New York are heels.
Yeah, it's there's like one thing happened where I'm not a really big fan of intergender matches like guy versus girl, but occasionally if you do it the right way, maybe. But there was a thing where the commission
I
stopped.
think it's awesome. I've always wanted to show back up in WWE and just power bomb the Divas Revolution into fucking hell. Just nobody's safe.
So that's a thing anyway. During that match, Massage Envy's wrestling, and all of a sudden we hear a loud like kaboom from the crowd, and I'm like, oh shit, what happened? And somebody's chair broke, and who the fuck do you think it is?
Rosemary.
So we all look in, and I feel bad for these guys. They're working their ass off, and it's just not everyone's distracted because this woman is tumbling on the floor, And of course, in my head,
What
I'm
the
going
fuck?
off. In my head, because I've had this happen a lot of times before, where a guardrail will hit someone in the leg, or
Yeah.
something happens. Like a kid gets knocked over, and I have to be on damage control and be like, are you okay? Hey, here's a free T-shirt. Hey, let me get you tickets to next show. And now she apparently, I assumed, she's a bigger woman, and our chairs really do have a 240-pound weight limit. Like they're very cheap plastic.
That's a pay-per-view chair, though. I thought she was on.
She was when she was in our office, but I think she found somebody must have left the show, and she got up and took that person's seat. If that makes sense.
Why the fuck? The WWE pay-per-view chairs are very comfortable, padded chairs. And
Well, she couldn't.
Those are designed. Those are designed.
There wasn't enough room for her to
WWE.
take the. Sorry, there wasn't enough room for her to take the chair and like bring it inside because there was so many people. So like, she's sitting there on her comfy Chris Jericho Fatal 4-Way chair, and then she
sorry,
sees an
Chris.
and then she's
Drink it in, man.
She's sitting on Jericho's face, and she's like, "Oh wait, look, there's an open seat, second row. Let me go take that." That's what happened.
Holy fuck.
So she's selling in the middle of the fucking place, and everyone's like, "Oh God, this woman is, could be hurt."
Which, by the way, a broken chair and taking like that just sounds so like minuscule to me and falling over. But go ahead.
Yeah. So we come to find out, and people help her they tell us about it, like, "Hey, this girl is hurt." I'm like, "Oh no." So a couple people help her to the office where I am, and we sit her down on our couch, and I get the story, and apparently it wasn't her that broke the chair. She was sitting behind the person, and it was a guy that broke the chair who wasn't even that heavy at all. In fact, he seemed like he was in shape, but the shit happens, and the chair hit her in the leg, and she decided to fall off. She decided to fall off her chair and sell, like as if she got shot.
What a worker.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing: they bring her to the office, and she's holding her leg like she got fucking stabbed. And I'm like, oh God. I'm like, I know where this is going. I'm like, is she gonna try to sue us? Is she gonna call an ambulance?
This is gonna take at least 3 or 4 shirts and tickets to next show.
So
Here's hey lady, here's a buffet club shirt. Shut the fuck up.
So she's sitting there, right? And now we have a doctor at our show. He's great. His name is Mike Chaplin. He's awesome.
Sounds awesome.
He goes right to her, and he attends to her, and he goes, "What's wrong? Show me." And she goes, the chair hit my leg. You don't understand. I have this sensitive condition where pain is extreme for me." And the doctor's like, "Okay, let me see your leg." And she pulls up her jeans, and she has hairier legs than me. Like they were some real oof. I mean, it was bad. And I'm sitting there, and Hawkins is there. Both of our wives are there. We're just trying to like calm the situation down, and she's just like, she won't stop pretending that she's hurt. And she goes, look, it hurts right here. And the doctor goes, "Well, there's no laceration. There's nothing wrong. Nothing's broken." And she goes, "You don't understand, doctor. It feels like my leg is being cut in half." And we're all just like, "Oh God, please, like just stop." So the doctor goes, "Look, there might be a bruise, but that's really all there is." And the EMT people, they don't know any better. Like the ambulance people, they're like, "Well, should we take her away?" And I'm like, "Oh, please don't. Like she's fine. She's fine. Like she's gonna be okay." And then she calls her mom. She's like, "I'm gonna call my mom." And she calls her mom, and she's like, "Mom, I fell. A chair hit me." And I could tell her mother on the phone was like, "Well, do you want to like?"
Her mother has dealt with this her entire life, so her mother is beyond frustrated. Yeah.
But even that, well, here's the thing where I don't feel bad, because all of a sudden I hear the girl go, "No, it's okay. I'm not going to sue them. Maybe I'll sue the chair company." And I'm like, holy shit. Like the mother was asking, "Well, do you want to sue them?" Like,
Yeah.
This is
what are these damn chairs made of? Steel.
Yeah, so after a while, I tell her, she's like, she finally like stops pretending that she's hurt, and she's like, am I going to miss the rest of the show? I'm like, well, there's one match left. I'm like, do you want to go back inside? She's like, no, I want to go home. Can I buy a DVD? And I'm like, well, we don't have DVDs, but I'll send you the link on YouTube. And she goes, okay. And she left. And that was the end of the night.
I would have given her a free $25 concession stand coupon. And made it all
That's not what you told me when I was boxing you. You go, give her one of these, and it was like a bracelet that says "shut the fuck up" or something. Like,
don't be a little bitch. That's my new message.
Bitch.
Feed me more. Don't be a little bitch. That's my message in life now to people, because it is just running rampant like fucking Hulkamania was in the 80s and early 90s. It's like, don't be a little bitch, because so many people are little bitches, and it's just frustrating. Just stop. But that would, dude, if that was me, that would have been the defining moment of the negative of like, fuck this, I'm going to a gym right now and changing my life.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope she does that.
Granted, I don't think she broke the chair, but I'm just looking at her. I'm like, look, like,
in my mind, it doesn't matter. It's the whole thing.
Because I think she was younger. I think she was like in her 20s, and like she literally couldn't walk, and it's like just this attitude of defeat, and she couldn't stand for more than 2 minutes. It's like, get yourself together.
No, and I'm very sympathetic to people like in that situation, and I don't want people to like come across like, but people have to understand you have to fucking light a fire under other people's asses sometimes. And like, if you're listening and you're not happy with yourself, you have the power to fucking change your life right now. You are sitting at home feeling sorry for yourselves because you're in a situation that you fucking created one way or the other. And if something happened that was out of your power, you have a choice to react positively to it or negatively. Fucking react the right way and fix it. Don't feel sorry for yourselves. Get your fucking ass into the gym. Fucking find out about nutrition and diet. And fucking fix your situation. If you get mad at me for anything I've said, fuck you, because you are a little bitch. And this woman could change her life like that if she makes the fucking decision in her mind and changes her mindset. And I will not back down from that fucking stance. So I wish her the best, but I don't feel sorry for her.
Yeah, so that was my Saturday night, and then that was Friday night. Saturday night I didn't do anything. Me and the wife went out and hey, have you ever heard what a bang bang is? Have you ever done that before?
Is that kind of like a swingers party?
No.
Oops. Sorry.
That's next weekend. No. So we did this last weekend. Bang bang is you go to a restaurant, because we went out to eat early, and so we went out to a restaurant. You have a full appetizer, dinner, and a dessert, and then you go to another place like 2 hours later, and then you have a full appetizer, entree, and dessert. Yeah.
That sounds like my kind of place.
It's called a bang bang. You feel like such a fat, disgusting piece of crap after, but it was well worth it. And
I like how we are continuing like from story to story. I'm going to go on with my leg story after this with Mike Orlando. After you tell this one, to keep everything flowing naturally. But go ahead.
Well, this was last weekend's activities, and that's really all I did. And then because I ate so much, I wake up now and I take your test booster, and then I wash down.
Let me ask you, how's that like? And I know it's very early on, and I've told everybody taken with the Feed Me More Nutrition, like the Wake Up Unlimited Energy, you feel that right away. It is the most powerful natural pre-workout energy supplement on the market, and you could take it in the morning in replacement of your coffee and have energy all day and be focused. The protein is grass-fed, prebiotic enhanced. It is superior to any other protein out there. And I just want to keep confirming this to people because the reviews have been great. But the test booster is like a multivitamin to your testosterone levels, and it will naturally raise your testosterone levels. I'm getting a lot of messages from guys that are afraid, like, is this going to hurt me? It will not hurt you. It is all natural. All the herbs, they essentially help your body produce more testosterone. It's not artificial in any way. And it's like, it says on the bottle 4 to 8 weeks. But like, and I've been on it for 5 months to get my test levels, and I go back in for blood work tomorrow to get my new levels, because they've gone up consistently over the last 5 months, because I was dealing with being shut down after coming off of TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, where that kept me normal for the last 5 years, but that was an artificial source. So like I was dealing with that. So like I had to but we recommend 4 to 8 weeks with 2 to 4 weeks off, and then continuing it. It will help you continue. The longer you take it, essentially within the 4 to 8 weeks, and taking 2 to 4 weeks off. Ideally, I would do 8 weeks on, 2 weeks off, back on. You will notice over time the continuous gains, whereas where you do steroids and you gain amount in a short time, and then you lose a ton and you go down below what you were before because your natural testosterone is all screwed up. This is a continuous progression over time, and I think that's very important for people to understand. And right now, I'm promoting my products right now, but that is the truth on them and how they work. And I just think that's very important to make clear before going on. So,
and in simple terms, I take that, and now I take the pre-workout in the morning, and it hits you like I said, I was a pre-workout junkie, but the one thing I hated is I would take things, I would get that buzz, and then 2, 3, 4 hours later, I'd crash, and I have to have a nap.
There's no crash with the Wake Up Unlimited Energy at all.
No, I kind of stay alert the whole, honestly, it sometimes I have to take a melatonin to fall asleep, to help me out because I'm still awake.
Yeah.
So
it has Asian ginseng and B vitamins, and there's a lot of other things. And it just, these are things that I figured out over the years. And when I started making my own supplements, that give you you get that initial energy kick, and then it lasts. And then there's brain factor stuff in there where it helps you focus in and stay motivated and get work done. It's I'm going to put my shit over because I created it and I know how great it is.
Sure, of course.
And but when I have other guys tell me how great it is the best feeling. And all the fans that have written to me and told me, you'll understand why I walked away. I know what I'm doing with it. This isn't IcoPro. I'm not just God damn it, let me just fucking come out with a protein powder and some fucking pills. Pat, what do you think about that, Pat?
Think about how shitty of a supplement IcoPro must have been.
Do you think we can still buy that?
I don't know. Bruce Pritchard talked about it on his podcast that there probably still exists boxes of IcoPro.
I can see Vince taking shitty expired IcoPro every night before bed. God damn it, this should have worked. And just looking at a picture of the XFL, that fucking bodybuilding federation, and then IcoPro every night before he goes to bed, and his movie division, and realizing God damn it, I'm a success.
Do you take it before you wrestle, your pre-workout, or no?
I take it before the gym, not right before I wrestle, but there's energy, L-citrulline and beta-alanine are two substances that I have in very good amounts in there that help you with your endurance and lasting longer, for wrestling matches and in high intensity cardio. That's why I take it before my workout and my burpees. I'm a machine on those things. I told you today I did. So I'm getting ready for Brian Cage at Starland Ballroom. And the Machine versus the Sin City Cyborg. And today was day one of my conditioning for which I love because WWE, like I said, you wrestle 4 or 5 nights a week. And I'll end up having 2 weeks off before this match. So today was my prep getting ready for this match. In which next week I actually start back up jiu-jitsu and kickboxing next Monday. Full steam to give me a week of that also. But I'm working my way up again, so I will finish with 200 burpees the final 3 days before the match. And today was day one, so today was 105 burpees, 20 minutes on the elliptical, 105 burpees, and then 20 box jumps. And I'm working on my back-flips also to get ready for this match at Starland Ballroom because NXT is running down the road. And wait, by the way, I think this is worth
we got to talk
mentioning.
about that.
They've called in and checked on ticket sales, right?
Yep. I got notification. They've done a couple weird things. First, it was, between you being on the show, whatever we say here, and all that stuff going on, mixed with the Cody stuff and the Cody Bears, we found out Starland's hey, just letting you know that we've had numerous calls from them to the building.
Did they say by who? It was either Canyon Seaman or Mark Carano, the two fucking...
No, they said it was through their ticket agency, which I believe was... one of the major ticketing agencies they use has been calling Starland to check on ticket sales.
Okay.
And who else would do that? They said it was a weird thing because normally the only time they get that is if a record company has one of their talents performing at Starland, they want to see how well the artist is selling. So they'll call to check on, well, how good is my person doing? I'd like to know what they're drawing. Instead, it's the opposite. It's WWE calling the fucking building and going, what are ticket sales? Because NXT is running, down, probably 30 minutes away. But we're doing really well. I'm really happy with pre-sale. And like I said, a lot of you guys listening, I know we see the numbers. New York's our biggest city next to London as far as people listen to this. So come out. You want to see a show, Starland Ballroom? I think I'm going to run there 4 times a year. But this one, I'm
gonna make a huge statement right now. Are me and the Machine Brian Cage the main event or no?
I actually haven't even put the card together, but it could go that way.
I certainly hope that we are. In all seriousness, and I know Cody's there, and we 100% should be the fucking main event because you will get your money's worth alone with that match right there, and we will outdo anything that NXT will put on that night between me and Brian Cage, and we will do a minimum. I'm going to call it right now. And in a world of fighting where you don't know how long a match could go, it could be 3 minutes, it could be 10 minutes. I'm going to make a fucking bold statement right now, Pat Buck, and I'm going to say the Machine, Brian Cage versus the Sin City Cyborg, the big guy Ryback, goes a minimum of 30 minutes. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, fucking marks of all ages that said Ryback cannot do 30 minutes. Come on out to the Starland Ballroom. You will witness at least minimum, and I'm fucking saying it right here, minimum 30 minutes between the Machine, Brian Cage, and the big guy Ryback. And yeah, it's out there. It's fucking real. But I'm going to go, hey, you know what, Machine? Let's give him fucking 30 minutes worth before we fucking really turn it on for real. And he's going to say, yeah, let's do it. And we are going to fucking do it for you, the fucking marks. Fucking the Starland Ballrooms. Tickets at starlandballroom.com. Ryback versus the Machine Brian Cage will outdo anything of Hunter's developmental territory, and mark my fucking words. Beat that game.
I wonder where Mark for Life's going to be. He's going to make the tough decision between NXT.
Oh, by the way, Mark for Life, and we need to talk about this right now too. Snapchat has done away with the Mark for Life face. And I told you the other day that I feel like it resembles a handicap face too much. And somebody complained in this day and age in little bitch society where everybody's pussified and just cries over fucking sour milk that somebody or too many people, but wrote into Snapchat and they're this reminds me of, of so-and-so, and when it's just a face filter to have fun. I feel like that's why they eliminated it, because I wrote to them on several occasions, and they have not written back to me. And I am beyond. Mark for Life was somebody very, very close to me, and he was my fucking Mark, and it hurts. And he always fought the good fight, and it's just I would have thought Snapchat, being the company they are and going public very shortly, which I will be, investing in them. Hopefully El Pollo Loco picks up and I can use some of that money to. Guys, if you're hungry and El Pollo Loco exists in your state or city, please, the big guy Ryback is asking you, fucking go there every day and buy as much food as you possibly can, because I am heavily invested in El Pollo Loco and I need them to turn it around. Thank you.
Well, the Dow Jones was over 20,000 today, thanks to our lovely president in office.
What's going on? I know we can't really get.
Yeah, no. I just wanted to say, but the stock market's up right now, which is kind of cool. But
I did good. I bought that tumbler barrel thing. I like the stock market. That's where I've made a lot of money, and I've made smart decisions. So fuck off, idiot.
So we talked about Starland Ballroom. We talked about the Rumble. I'm trying to think what else we had on the agenda. We kind of were going to end it, but we decided let's just keep going. Let's just figure out where the show lands us.
There was so much we want to talk about. I think people have been asking for longer episodes, and we're never gonna. It's like money in the universe, Buck. We're never gonna run out. We're always gonna have stuff to talk about, and I think we talked a bit about the Royal Rumble this week. One of the things that I thought was cool, I don't watch the product really anymore. I DVR it still Raw. I haven't even DVR'd SmackDown. And I've heard that's the better show, and I should, because there's guys
it's
on
way
there.
Better show, man. Yeah,
and there's guys I'm friends with on there that have bought some of my supplements and whatnot, and I should be a little more, I could always go back. Dolph, I didn't even know Dolph turned heel, and I just saw something on that, and I go, what? And like it was because I haven't talked to him in a little bit, and I was like, fuck, I'm out of the loop on everything, but yeah, I don't know what we were talking about. Sorry.
And speaking of guys on SmackDown, I was going to compliment Broski since he got your, he's one of the guys that supports your supplements, but he was a piece of shit to me this week, and he
how so?
He bullied me. Well, here's the thing, and I'll put this out here too. If there's anyone in wrestling that's listening right now that makes good quality wrestling gear, hit me up, because there's a problem finding. I've had many gear makers over the years. My favorite one was JD.
JD Michaels with Iron Attitude, who is one of my close consultants for Feed Me More Nutrition. I will put him over endlessly. He always comes through making me the right gear, and if it's fucking off, he fixes it. It's always on time, and he's never let me down. And he hears me bitch and whine and moan and cry about little problems, and as positive as I am, I need somebody to sometimes vent to, and you and him are the two guys that I vent to. So big shout out to Iron Attitude. Those big guy weight belts, which were your idea for me, Pat Buck, and I will give you credit for that all day long, were made by JD Michaels at Iron Attitude, and you can get your own custom weight belt made by Iron Attitude. So check them out on Instagram, Iron Attitude.
I literally have a weight belt on the way. I think I maybe have 6 or 7 now, maybe 6. So anyway, JD used to make my gear, and it always fit well. It was great quality. But since then, it's been a fucking nightmare. And I've had horror story. Here's the thing: I'm an indie guy, and I have
what do you mean when you say you're an indie guy, Pat?
I've never had TV exposure, so if I'm
I remember you.
Hold
on. I remember distinctly of you wrestling Crime Time in Orlando for a Christmas episode with you and Drew. Drew Donovan, right?
Yeah. Who's now 300 pounds of muscle.
Wait, why do you laugh on that?
Because at that time he was like my size, and he is now double his size.
Pat, this podcast is about telling the truth. Are you saying that Drew Donovan is using a shit ton of fucking steroids to have the physique?
I'm
that
saying
he has?
no such thing. I'm just saying that the man hit a growth spurt. Past the age of 25.
I will say it that Drew Donovan is using a shit ton of steroids to achieve the physique that he is using. If you're hold on, let big guy rant again right here. If you're on the independents. If you're on the fucking independents and you want to work for WWE and you're taking growth hormone and fucking steroids, wake the fuck up and fucking hit your head and look in the mirror and go, stupid, because that's what you fucking are. You can't, growth you can fucking do, as obviously some of the guys up there are getting away with. But everything else, you're fucking stupid, and knock that shit off. God damn. Mark Carano, fucking implement a growth hormone policy ASAP.
What makes you more angry, though? Guys that do that or guys that don't go to the gym?
Guys that don't go to the gym. Both are equal. I mean, both are bad. But that's a great fucking question, by the way. But guys that don't go to the gym, that's like, because the guys that are doing steroids have Vince on a pedestal, which I think
we're talking about strictly in wrestling. We're not talking about life. We're talking about in wrestling.
Yeah, in wrestling. And I laugh at, like with guys that do steroids in wrestling that are trying to enhance their physique because they think they're trying to that Vince is watching every indie match, and they can't even run their own goddamn company fucking efficiently. You think you think they have a fucking I've been there and just like, holy fuck, like this place is a fucking mess. And you think they fucking know what's going on in Hazleton, Pennsylvania? Fucking Jesus Christ. No, they have no fucking clue. And nobody gives a fuck. And like, you think like, oh, I need to do steroids because Vince is a body guy. God damn it. I fucking look incredible. I am a fucking machine. I am as strong as a fucking bull. Do you think it fucking mattered? No, because he has personal agendas against me from fucking a goddamn ankle situation. And like, you want to like, oh yeah, Vince is gonna like look at that goddamn guy's pecs, fucking make him world champion. No, it's not gonna just be your pecs. It's gonna be a lot of other things.
We got off on a tangent. What I was saying too, back to the gear thing with JD, made my gear fit. So since then, talking about being an indie guy, all the good gear makers are making stuff for WWE people or even Impact people or whatever. So for me to get stuff from them, you're put on like a chain of command. I couldn't get things done on time.
You got to pay more money. That's the key.
No, dude, here's the thing. I'll say this right now. For any gear makers out there, you have a client right here that spends hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. I mean, I've bought maybe 12 different outfits in the last 6 months, like full body, long tights, singlet, kick pad covers, knee pad covers. Like, I'm a fucking gear mark. I pay a lot of, I've approached gear makers before going, I will pay extra to get it done on time, like, or rush to me. Here's my measurements. And I can't tell you, failure, they're lazy. They're fucking, they don't get shit done. I had one fucking girl who made stuff for Chikara. Everyone praised her. She's so good. I hit her up. Okay, cool. Give me your measurements. Send her the measurements. Send her a nice deposit, $150. My gear, I think, cost $600 that I was going to get done.
Your gear cost $600?
Dude, I get elaborate shit. I really do. I get a lot of stuff.
My
I get, like,
singlets,
really deep.
to get a W, like for my singlets, I would pay typically with JD $180 per singlet, $20 for shipping, and then I would pay typically anywhere. I believe I would pay $180 with shipping for the airbrushing, which is what the new guys. I got to send him a payment actually for my Terminator when he did. It just reminds me. I saw the payment for that. So you're looking at like usually a little under $400 for me for like
Per outfit.
Yeah, right around say $400 per outfit to be safe.
I think this was like, I got more stuff made. I was getting like wrist gauntlets and knee pad covers and long tights and, the whole kind of Bret Hart slash Macho Man
slash Kurt Hawkins.
I'm stealing Kurt Hawkins' look, his get up. So I gave this gear maker my deposit. And then literally 2 days later, I see on her Twitter that she said, she's taking time off from gear making because her hands hurt. And I write to her, I go, with all due, like, wait a minute. I swear to God. I'm like, look, I just gave you a deposit. Like, are you making my stuff? She's like, no, I'm taking time off. But when I come back, I'll make your stuff.
You know what?
Like, hold on. Like, she's like, I have a medical condition and my hands hurt, my wrists hurt. And I'm like, I just sent you $150 and this stuff's like important to me. What's going on? To this day, I got half that money back, and she kept the other half. She never made my gear. There was no mention of getting the other money back or, hey, I'm ready to go. Like it was like a 3-month process. And people after that, dude, it's been mess after mess. And like I have a guy on Long Island. He makes my stuff, but it's not great quality. He's okay, but he always does. I give him the design, and then he gets creative with it, and it's never what I match it with, and it doesn't fit right. And I love him to death, but like he always takes way too long.
Yeah.
So anyway, this guy, I haven't got my next set of gear yet, but he put pictures of it online, and Ryder knows this guy. We all came from the same program.
Yeah.
And Ryder's like, great gear, Pat, looks awesome. And I'm like, go fuck yourself, broski. Like, because broski was like, he actually mentioned it. He said, I said, dude, like, I can't get a good gear maker. He goes, okay, hold on. Let me write to my guy. Because he did it for me in the past. and he wrote to a dude who makes his gear. I think it's like Rick Michaels or something. I'm not sure. I forget.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, can you make gear for my friend? And the guy, he showed me a screenshot, and the guy goes, oh, fine, for you I will, but it'll be after the Royal Rumble. And it's like, see,
what a little bitch.
It's like your fucking job, your income. You
The
have
more,
someone here
the
that's
more
willing
you
to
hustle
give
and work, the more money you fucking make, you fucking mark. God damn it.
I'm like, dude, I buy so much gear. I wear it maybe a few times. Like I'm bad with that. Like I'm addicted to it. But like it's just insulting. Like the only thing I have that's quality is the weight belts from JD. But if you're a gear maker, you can make stuff, you're listening to this podcast, hit me up. You'll have a fucking client for life. I promise you.
I was going to tell you,
pros,
I've been trying to get this in for the entire time. When she said her hands hurt, I was trying to say, well, now your back is going to hurt you, little bitch, because you just pulled landscaping duty from Happy Gilmore, with Ben Stiller. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't hear anything you said after you said my hands hurt. I've been waiting to get that line in the entire fucking time.
Perfect timing.
I'm off by 5 fucking minutes, but yeah. But I gotta. No, gears. JD makes great gear, and he doesn't make it anymore. But for me, he'll still do singlets and everything. But it's because I'm the big guy Ryback.
Well, that's the thing. I asked JD. I was like, JD, would you make gear? He's like, dude. He's like, I'm too busy making these belts, which they're awesome. I totally understand. It's just I've never found, because I think that's important. That's one thing that bothers me. You may get bothered by someone that's super out of shape in wrestling. I'm bothered by people that don't have
or when somebody
gear.
calls me Skippy.
Oh, a couple people call you Skippy.
A lot of people do, actually. I don't get mad at it at all. It's funny.
So, but that's it on the gear making end. I did have my notes that I think the longer this podcast go, the drunker we get. I don't know if you upgraded.
I told you I ran out. I only had one bottle of red wine tonight. I have switched to Maker's Mark and Zevia's, which I think it's very important to mention, and I definitely feel the difference. I get fired up on whiskey. It makes me want to throw over the shoulder boulder holders to everyone around me.
Which I did give you that maneuver as well in FCW, the piggyback stunner.
The piggyback stunner,
which almost ended your career.
Also responsible for a lot of my back fucking problems. No, I'm actually thinking about making that my new finisher on the independents, because my back is strengthened doing all the rehabilitation that from Andrew Locke over in Australia has helped me tremendously, and he has a lot of cool back articles online, and he's been a blessing to me. I've said this past weekend wrestling Moose, and there's so much we haven't talked about. I feel better than I've felt on probably the last 2 years. My body was hurting so bad from some of the problems I was having from muscle weakness and some of my smaller muscles. But a problem that
Sorry, you brought up something the other day. We were talking about how you said to me that someone told you that time off as a wrestler is like the worst thing in the world. I'm pretty sure you told me that the other way.
Yeah, Arn Anderson said a wrestler's worst enemy is time off. And what happened to me is when I came off the road after pretty much 5 years of nonstop wrestling, is it took probably between 4 to 6 weeks to set in. My body just started aching really, really bad, and shoulder and back pain really, really bad. Because on the road, you have to you toughen up. And a lot of the wrestlers that you watch every night are in tremendous pain. And we live in a different day and age where guys now can't take pain pills before matches, and it's good. It's rightfully so. But that wrestling 4 to 5 nights a week just tears the human body apart. And guys don't understand that, and people don't understand. You're working out, a couple hours a day, usually the guys, and you're in cars and traveling at night for 3, 4, or 5 hours every night. And it's like your emotions are going, you wake up and you get yourself amped up to work out and you come down. You got to get yourself amped up to go wrestle. Then you kind of come down, but you got to stay awake enough to drive for 3, 4, or 5 hours. And then you got to come back down and you got to do that over and over and over again, just nonstop. And if you fail and you're weak, then you fall off and you quit making money. And that's the mindset. So you have to you harden up. And your body, you bump every night and you develop scar tissue and your body toughens up and you start, it's a whole, a fan can't understand it. You could sit there and tell them that all day, but any wrestler and guy that understands this, that's worked any significant amount of time, knows exactly what I'm talking about. And you take pride in it. It's cool because, but it's different taking time off and then having to go in there and turn it on. Because then, I felt it this past weekend. I was like, man, my body, I never got sore in WWE. I could do anything and never get sore. And then I wrestled one match one night, and I'm fucking aching. Oh, my neck is killing me, and it doesn't stop me from doing anything. It didn't stop me from driving 6 hours to go wrestle Moose the next night because that's my obligation, and that's what was promoted, and that's what needs to be delivered. But it's a rough lifestyle. It's not for your average human being. That's for damn sure. But Pat, Did I tell you about Mike Orlando this weekend?
Well, you talked about the match a little bit, but you never got to the leg stuff.
Yeah. So and I'm breaking kayfabe a little bit, brother. But
so I mean. Take us back. This is Friday night of last week or Saturday night.
Yeah.
And you have a match with an independent guy who's getting his name out there. He's on a lot of shows. I've worked him before too. Good dude. Nice dude. Very, very good in the ring.
Yeah, very athletic and very good. And
you had an idea for the match, correct?
Yeah. So, and I look at it like that WWE superstar or former WWE superstar, the big guy Ryback. And he's a bigger guy compared to most of the guys. Him and Moose were a real pleasure to be able to work this weekend. But I had mentioned backstage, I had this brilliant idea that we're gonna do a little thing on the outside after I did a dive to the outside where he slaps me and I chase him around. But I was going to go down with a leg injury, but I wasn't going to stay down. I was going to pop right back up and get back in the ring, and we're going to continue the match, and he wasn't going to work my leg. And I told him and everybody involved in the match that was my intentions for this match. And we get out there, and I take this. I'm such a goddamn great fucking seller. We do the spot. He slaps me.
So humble, too.
very humble human being, Pat. And
I'm the best.
I'm the goddamn best, but damn it, I'm fucking humble. I fall down, but I pop right back up to a T to my fucking how I envisioned it. I get back in the ring and we start the match back up. And then as we're doing the match, I told him backstage, I'm gonna say my hamstring's fucking torn and pulled, and I'm gonna make comments during the match to sell the injury, but I don't want you to work my leg. I want you to do a standard heat on me because we'll get the people to really bite on this. And he was like, okay, cool. And the referee I told, and so I get out there, we do it. I get back in the ring and I'm giving him fucking shoulder fucking tackles in the corner while I'm selling my leg. And I go, I tore my fucking hamstring. And he goes, what? And I go, I tore my fucking hamstring because I want the people fucking to hear me and think I tore my fucking hamstring. And I don't give a fuck.
And you told this beforehand, correct?
Yes. And
yeah.
But apparently I did such a good job convincing everybody outside and inside the ring that I tore my hamstring that him and the referee thought I was legitimately hurt. So spots in this match get fucked up, but nobody knows. But he cuts out stuff because he thinks I'm legitimately hurt. And I'm just thinking in my head like, oh, man, he sucks at remembering stuff. And we're going through the match, and he goes, at different points in the match, he goes, you're a fucking beast, man. And I'm laughing because I'm like, why am I a beast? Like this match isn't going how we discussed it. But nobody knows it's not going how we discussed it. And everybody's biting on my leg injury because he's not working my leg like I fucking planned. But and I don't give a shit talking about it because wrestling is fake as fuck, and who the fuck cares? It's a fucking movie, and people are still going to watch the movie because they want to see the possibility of somebody getting hurt. And maybe it's me. Maybe I really do fucking tear my hamstring eventually. But it didn't happen. It did not happen this night. And everybody from the referee to the owners of the show to him thought that I tore my hamstring. And right before we went into the finish with a shell shock, he said on multiple times, he goes, "You're such a fucking beast." And I chuckled to myself, not knowing why he's telling me I'm a beast in this fucking match. But he was telling me I'm a beast because he thought I was doing all this with a torn hamstring. And
okay.
I've never been prouder as a worker to fucking get the guys in the ring to bite on something that I told them beforehand. But that doesn't take away from how good he is and how credible. It just says that I am that fucking good at selling. Fuck you, fucking Marks.
Very good. I'm trying to think what else we got here.
Have you told everybody how good Feed Me More Nutrition is yet?
About what?
Feed Me More Nutrition. How good it is.
What about it?
How good it is.
I mean, I put it over. I take the supplements every day. I think that it's your, it's I don't know. I'm losing track of thought. I'm trying to scroll through things.
Pat, that's a horrible fucking endorsement for Feed Me More Nutrition.
We talked about it plenty of times. I mean, I use the stuff every day, and
we need you to I need you to get further blood work to show your testosterone levels on the Big Guy Test Booster because it is my testosterone has gone up over 500 points since I've started. So I need you to also show the people how well it works.
So where are you at? What level? What range are you at?
I should be somewhere between 500 and 600 this coming week.
Wow.
Based on the way the numbers have gone up every month of testing. So it is an extraordinary product, and I look forward to I want the feedback I'm going to get from people, from the test booster to the pre-workout to the protein. I'm really, really looking forward to it. So, I think something too.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I did every week. I do want to get in our fitness tip of the week from the Big Guy. Every week, and this isn't just a wrestling podcast, and we've been talking about wrestling a little bit here lately. But something a lot of you, and I go off on my tangents, and I say things that you might get upset over, but I ultimately want you to help yourselves and be the best version of yourself. And everything that you were taught growing up, I want you to say, fuck that. I want to figure things out for myself. But something for me that's helped me for a fitness tip of the week. If you're looking to improve your core and your abdominal area, P90X abs, Ab Ripper X, you can look it up online and get a free workout where they have videos on YouTube, or you could purchase it and do the right thing and purchase it, and so that they get their rightful money. And it is one thing that has helped my abs tremendously, being 275 pounds and keeping a 6-pack, 8-pack, whatever you want to call it, is from P90X Ab Ripper X. They're not paying me $1 to endorse this. It's something I do every week, once a week, along with weighted abs. So look it up online and add it into your routine every week. And I think that it will really, really help you get a better midsection and core, along with a proper diet, obviously. But doing it alone will help you tremendously.
Okay, you heard the fitness tip of the week. Anything else, or do we wrap this up?
No, I think that's good for this week. Do you have anything else that you want to, social media plugs you want to get in?
Let me look. I pulled up the wrong notes. I have too many fucking things open. I think I drank a little bit too much wine. I think it's interesting as the show goes on, we progressively get drunker and drunker.
But the information is solid, so who cares?
WrestlePro Online, WrestleProOnline.com. Tickets for all upcoming shows in the New York, New Jersey area for all your wrestling needs. CreativeProWrestling.com. I'm Buck Never Stops across all platforms.
And guys, check out feedmemore.com, at Ryback22 on Twitter, Ryback247 on Snapchat, and the big guy, Ryback22 on Instagram.
One more thing, sorry, just to get in here. Guys, we have not had a lot of reviews lately. We peaked off and teetered off. We're going to have a little contest, if you will. The most funniest, creative, best reviews you can leave on iTunes. 5 stars appreciated. We'll find the best one and we will read them on the air. So please get creative, get fun. Leave a review for this show on iTunes. Sorry, man. Just wanted to get that out there.
I'll even add in, I'll do you one up. I'll throw in a free Feed Me More Nutrition shaker bottle, workout towel, and shirt for the winner. So,
whoa.
Oh, wow. Guys.
Oh, wow.
Thank you guys very much for tuning in. You have just listened to another episode of Conversation with the Big Guy. Thank you.